Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to be exploring our emotions in a deeper way by using two powerful tools, the emotions wheel and the emotion recognition worksheet that should be linked with your video. If you don't have it already, go ahead and get that out and follow along. I'll be filling it out with you. Understanding our emotions helps us regulate them, communicate them, and improve our overall well-being. I'll be walking you through the worksheet step by step so you can follow right along. You can pause the video whenever you need to, and then press play as we continue on. The emotions wheel helps us identify the secondary and tertiary emotions behind what we're feeling. Sometimes we say that we're sad or we're mad when really we're more anxious or frustrated. I know when you cry, I usually feel like that is sadness showing up for me. But when I work through the emotion and sit with it for a bit, I can take it apart and recognize that the tears that I am experiencing comes from frustration or not understanding something, or if I get overwhelmed by a particular emotion, then tears usually come. But it's not sadness that I'm experiencing, it's actually anger in a form. All right, let's go through the worksheet together. The first one that we will be doing is the primary emotion category. This emotion belongs to what category? So say you had a stressful day at work and you're identifying the core emotion. So it could be anger or fear. If we look deeper and we go into finding the secondary and tertiary variations, the related emotions to anger and fear, if we pull up our emotions wheel, could be frustration, or you're feeling hurt. Something happened at work and your feelings are hurt and you're upset that somebody made you feel that way. If you are feeling anxiety, that's more related to fear. So if we break it down, the emotion that we are feeling, we can find and identify the true feeling, and that helps us figure out how to deal with it better. So the next step would be to go over the common triggers. This emotion typically is triggered by what shows up when you feel this emotion or before you feel this emotion. Like deadlines. If you have deadlines at work and that brings up your anxiety, having the deadlines looming over you is making you feel anxious. If there was a miscommunication at work, that would bring up some frustration probably that you can't communicate with that person. Identifying the triggers really helps us prevent feeling emotionally overwhelmed. The next step on the emotion recognition worksheet is the physical sensations. If we can identify the sensation that we're feeling, like when you're feeling anxious, there's usually an elevated heart rate. You might get clammy. You might have a tight chest. You might have racing thoughts or tense shoulders. Identifying that physical sensation will help you recognize it when the emotion shows up again next time, so you're not overwhelmed by it. For all my people out there that have panic attacks, you're familiar with the sensations, or you would, if you're working with this, you'll probably recognize the sensations, the physical sensations that appear before the actual panic attack hits you. So let's move on to number 5, automatic reactions and thoughts. How do you typically respond to this emotion? What's your first reaction? And what are your usual thoughts around this emotion when it pops up for you? So if we're going off of the I had a stressful day and my core emotions that I've identified are anger and fear, then what usually pops up when you feel angry? Usually when I get angry, I shut down. I stop talking and I just stew. And if we're going with the fear as the secondary and tertiary is anxiety, what happens? What's the thoughts around that when that pops up? You might have to sit with that for a bit. Around anxiety, if it's work related, I'm probably going to jump to, I'm not good enough. I did something wrong. I need to be better. And pulling that apart helps you get to number 6, which is reflecting on past experiences. So if we're reflecting on past experiences, I recall feeling this emotion most strongly in these situations. The environment or circumstances surrounding this emotion were, so recalling feeling anger most strongly in a situation. Absolutely, when I get cut off in traffic, I'm quick to get angry. The environment or circumstances surrounding the emotion are usually, I am lacking control. I am frustrated because I can't do what I wanted to do the way I wanted to, when I wanted to. I had no control. If it happened at work, I wasn't able to control how they reacted to a situation. So if I'm not able to have control in situations like that, I need to surrender. I need to let it be what it is. I can't control how somebody else drives, but I can control how I react to things. The environment surrounding the circumstances of the emotion, and looking back, this is an important one I don't want to skip. Looking back on this emotion, how did it help me? Or what did it tell me? If I'm lacking control, I'm trying to do something that I just can't do. If you can't control, if you have no control, and there's nothing that you can do, then there's no need to worry about it, fret about it, or try and fixate on it. So in a circumstance like work, and I'm worried about somebody responding, I can take a deep breath. And that lets me know that my frustration comes from a lack of control, and I can't control that. The anger that I feel lets me know that I feel like something about that situation was probably wrong. If it had to do with work, I got upset because I felt disrespected. Or if we're looking at the traffic situation, I got upset about this happening. That's a control thing. I have no control. So in a situation like traffic, I just need to take a step back, breathe, and it is what it is, which takes us to healthy coping skills. The next time this emotion shows up, I can, like I was saying, in a situation like traffic, take a deep breath, keep my foot off of the gas pedal, and enjoy the scenery. Enjoy the sunset that's happening, or enjoy the people I see riding their bikes along the side of the street, and be in this moment. If we are going with fear and the anxiety that I felt around a rough day at work, the next time this emotion shows up, I can remind myself that I'm doing the best that I can. I'm an anxious person, but what I can control is me. And am I doing the best that I can right now? I'm doing the best that I can. And let that anxiety wash off of me. Some activities or techniques that can help me regulate, and then a supportive action that I can take for myself when experiencing this emotion. Activities or techniques that could help me regulate if I was angry or anxious, especially when I get off of work. I could do a breathing exercise when I return to my car and just take a deep breath, and I am done with work. I'm not taking work home with me. I'm not taking the frustrations. They don't belong at my home. If I'm upset, again, a deep breath. Or you could go to a park. You could go for a walk real quick and let it off. Grounding yourself in nature recharges that internal battery of yours. It is really proven that walking in nature, surrounding yourself with trees, helps alleviate anxiety and stress. A supportive action that you can take for yourself when experiencing this emotion, if we're going with fear and anger, is I could journal about it. I could talk to a supportive friend who is supporting my journey and helping me be the best Whitney that I can be. Then it would help me quell that anger. If it's the anxiety that you're feeling, what's a supportive action that you could take? You could do, again, breathing exercises. You could go for a walk. This is just for yourself. And if that includes a support team, then absolutely use it. It's another good technique that you could use. Now that we've gone through this worksheet, I'd like you to take a moment to reflect with your emotions. Are there any other big emotions that are showing up for you lately? Can you identify any deeper roots to them by using this emotion wheel? If you sit with them for a little bit, do you find that they're not entirely the core one that you were thinking it was? Go back and use the worksheet again if you'd like. And if you would like to explore this emotion deeper, I would love to sit with you and do a tarot reading over the emotion that you are working with, or emotions. So if you feel inclined to, go ahead and reach out and schedule a tarot reading with me.